me see your hands. Let me see your hands. Your chains ain't pockets. Turn up your chains, buddy.
Excuse me.
You're being detained, buddy. I'll take your backpack off. Take your backpack off.
Excuse me. What am I doing?
Take your backpack off.
Can you explain what this is?
Before you go on the ground, take your backpack off.
I'm going to get picked up for work.
Come on. Let's go on and play this game.
Sir,
The chain's behind your back.
this is my phone.
Put it down.
Can you tell me what's going on?
Just put your hands behind your back before you end up on the ground.
My phone.
You're getting detained for a minute. Can you imagine the description of someone trying to break into people's cars?
I'm not breaking anyone's car. He lives right up there. What did I do wrong?
Only pieces of garbage enjoy the sound of someone in brutal pain after they, in an advantageous position, sneak up on them and slam them on their head and shoulder on the ground. That happened in March of last year, but that dash cam footage is just now being released. That victim there was Tyler Canaris, and it's from a YouTube account called Justice for Tyler Canaris. And there's been all this controversy online over it and trying to figure out what was going on. We heard a little bit there. Apparently someone trying to break into cars. We matched the description of someone in the area. Therefore, I get to assume it's you because I'm having a bad night. The officer that was having a bad night, his name is Michael McMaster. And there he is holding up his, I guess, accomplishments there. He's very happy. He's like, in his brain, he's thinking, I can't wait to go and attack people. This is why I'm here. Ever since then, though, his Facebook page has also been deleted. Maybe he'll want to pay the $14.99 a month to get it back. But Tyler Canaris then was walking to work when this went down. I guess that's suspicious too, especially since he told him that. And he said, I don't know what you're talking about. Can you tell me what's going on? But apparently him asking questions was just too far over the line. Did you see him fight with him? Did you see him throw an elbow, resist? He let him take his backpack off. He's like, now your backpack is off. I can slam you easier because I'm a piece of garbage. Just my editorializing there. So according to the video, Canaris, who's 30 years old, was walking to work when he was stopped by police who said he matched the description. Again, the video shows the deputy talking to Canaris before throwing him on the ground. The YouTube page posted the video said that he suffered a fractured skull and a broken collarbone. And he was hospitalized for 9 days after this. Yeah, so he was on the ground writhing in pain because of the fractured skull and broken collarbone. In his arrest report, McMaster wrote that he was responding to a report of a man with dark clothing and a backpack trying to break into cars in the area. He wrote that the deputies had received 2 calls in about 30 minutes. He said he spotted him walking in the area and put on his blue lights. So since it was pretty obvious that they got the wrong guy, they tried to justify it by saying that he was resisting arrest. The most basic next charge that comes after you go, oops, my bad, just broke your collarbone and fractured your skull. So according to the police report obtained by Heavy, the incident occurred about 5:50 in the morning at the intersection of this one intersection in Georgia. McMaster accused Canaris in the arrest report of refusing to follow commands and attempting to get his arms away when being handcuffed. Canaris lives in Dallas, not far from where the incident occurred. This is Dallas, Georgia, according to the arrest report. Now, he wasn't even charged either. You know why? Because he wasn't breaking into cars. According to the Paulding County records viewed by Heavy, Tyler Canaris was charged with obstruction of a law enforcement officer, which is a misdemeanor. He was booked into custody and then released after posting $1,000 bond. And that case is pending. So the Georgia Bureau of Investigation is also looking into this whole thing, while McMaster still have his job running around trying to find someone else to slam on the ground, Jessica.
It doesn't make any sense that right now in our country, the people that are talking about, our rights being infringed upon, our way of life being infringed upon, and big government being a problem, they're never talking about law enforcement. Like the first touch point with, I don't know, any kind of government law enforcement is the police for most citizens. And for a cop to arrest you without even saying you're being detained, for them to be judge, jury, and executioner, we didn't even know if this was the right guy that he had there. And so often people are talking about, well, It shall not be infringed that we have the right to carry arms. Yet whenever there's a police interaction and it just looks like somebody has a gun, oftentimes they're reaching for something that's not even a weapon. It was a vape in one case. Just reaching for something that looks kind of like a gun, they think gives an officer the right to shoot. Like, it doesn't make any sense that all of these basic rights that are guaranteed to us in the Constitution are being infringed upon on a daily basis by law enforcement. And for some reason, all of these folks that are so worried about us living in a fascist society or a society where there's too much say the government has over our day-to-day lives, they're never worried about the police. It doesn't make any sense.
Think about I'm glad you brought it that way, because I was on that line of thinking. Think about other public servant type of jobs, government-based jobs, or jobs where you're doing active things out in the field, working with citizens, and we pay your damn salary. What other profession can you approach someone and be like, we're hearing some things about you and I don't know who you are, where you're coming from or anything else, but before, if you don't shut up and do everything I tell you, I'm going to physically harm you and potentially kill you. What other profession does that we accept doing that? I mean, I've heard some horror stories about some firemen that show up at houses and maybe ransack through people's stuff sometimes. But I wonder if you call the fire department and your kitchen's on fire and you weren't really able to contain it. They come in and go, "Get out of here, what are you doing?" and get all mad and slam your kid's head into the wall. Is that how it usually works with these types of public servant type of jobs where they're supposed to protect people, maybe help them out? So if you're looking to help the people whose cars were getting broken into possibly, slamming this guy on the ground, is that gonna help them? Are they gonna come to the police station and go, "Thank you, Mr. McMaster. You being a piece of garbage is exactly what I needed." The fact that my car window was busted out is all fixed now because you slammed some random person into the ground. It doesn't make any sense. They go into the job with this aggression and they're like, "Yo, now's my chance. There's someone that matches some description that I didn't tell him what it was, but I can slam him on the ground now. That's great. My wife just got mad at me. Let me take it out on this guy."
Especially when so much funding is going to the police. Like, over a third of city budgets going to police forces. A part of the thinking, right, of the American conservatives that are critical of big government, they're critical of like federal government, but police, despite their funding coming from local budgets, they do get some federal funding. They do get a lot of military grade weapons passed down to them. And they do get training from different states. They get officers coming from different parts of the country's, Cop City, the cop training facility in Atlanta. They said cops from all across the country will be trained there. So this idea that it's a local force and it's not big government, it's just not true.
And the original idea of police officers to round up people, put them in these camps and make sure they're contained because they're loitering and things like that. And it lives to this day. Maybe we should look into a little bit of our history and how we've gotten to this point and why there's this aggression factor with police officers immediately, regardless of the situation.